Timing of judging quality. I was talking to my mom tonight. We were talking on this idea of quality and how it's often hard to tell when you're not somebody who knows because, it may look good, it may work well for right now, but a few months down the road or a year or two later, it falls apart, right? So I was referencing to the whole grout sealer, right? If you buy the $20 quarts from Home Depot, they might work for a few months or even a year or two, but after a few years, it's useless. If you buy the $70 quarts that are not available from Home Depot or Lowe's, they're specialized places. Like I got one that's called Bulletproof by StoneTech. Anyways, those are supposed to last you for years. But how would you know if you didn't know about this? If you're not a professional, right? So my mom was sharing how when her car got repaired by the body shop, it looked beautiful, but it was horrible. After a few months, it's all falling apart. So, how can you tell, right? A lot of stuff has to be judged through time. I mean, in a hospital, I encounter this all the time, right? You may fix somebody, right? For example, if somebody feels bad, you give them steroids, you basically fix everything. They'll feel better. But let's say a few months down the road, they die. Well, not quite the right thing, right? Because they had an infection, you give them steroids that makes them feel better, but the infection took over the body and they died. That's not really, I would say, optimal medical treatment. But so is true of everything else, basically. And that's why, at least here in the US, we have the concept of warranty. You're guaranteeing your product for a certain length of time. And the joke is, and there's some truth to it, that yeah, it'll last till right after warranty and then it'll break. And then you're out of luck. But I guess the whole point is, how do you judge quality? Depends on when you judge quality and how long you need it, right? And it's not so black and white. For example, when I got my car fixed, I asked a friend where he goes to the mechanic because I was not in my home area. And he said, go to this guy, he's pretty good. And I went to that guy and then, he diagnosed my car. My, engine mount was sort of, I don't know, coming off. So he needed to replace that. So that's a lot of money. And he's like, might as well do a tune-up. Oh, replace your spark plugs. And then later when I was showing the stuff to my dad, he's like, are you kidding me? Why did you get platinum spark plugs? Why do you need platinum spark plugs? Which is probably a valid point. I had a very old car by then, probably already 10 years old. And yeah, I don't know if platinum spark plugs are longer lasting than normal spark plugs, but it's sort of a moot point for my car, right? But the thing is, when you judge quality, right, what time frame are you talking about? How long do you need it? Looking into, say, home repairs, right, or upgrades, say a furnace or a water heater, this or that. How many years do you need it last? Someone's saying, well, you could do the math. A more efficient one will save you money, may last a little bit longer because it's higher quality. But if you're going to sell your house, they're not going to know the difference anyways, right? But it's just practical, right? You're not going to need it forever, right? Like, really, do you need a table to last you forever or a computer to last you forever? You're just going to upgrade. Who cares how good quality it is, whether it lasts 5 or 10 years when you're going to place it in 2? That's why it's really hard to judge quality, because we don't know how long it lasts. If we're not in the field, we'll never know. All I could say is looks good now. Don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, right?